Hello, this is Chad Middleton, your vocational expert here, live on YouTube, as I occasionally do, to give you information about TDIU and how our vocational evaluations can assist you with gaining this benefit from the VA. But I was startled recently, not really startled, but I saw it trending in this direction um, with the VA making a declaration on effective February the 17th, 2026, that they're going to make reductions in disability compensation. All right. We talked about this in previous videos about how when you go to a CMP exam, they may keep you at 70%, but they are minimizing its impact on your ability to work. All right. And also, how how difficult it is to get TDIU benefits at these CMP examinations, and the importance of having evidence to support your claim of being not able to work. Okay. What the VA is now doing is they're considering work and your ability to work based on your service connected conditions. All right. So if your condition is managed by medication, okay, although they may keep you at 70%, they may decrease your disability compensation. Okay. Um, if your PTSD is being managed, they may keep you at 70%, but they may lower your disability compensation. All right. So veterans are going to be upset all over the world, I'm sure. Veterans is going to be upset because they're living on fixed income. They've gained a 70, 80, 90%, or even 100% rating, and they're used to getting a certain amount of money per month. But now with this recent change, there's going to be some changes in how you're getting paid because the VA is expecting you, veteran, to go back to work in some form or fashion. This is why it's so important to have a vocational expert. Because if they can say go back to work, they have to be able to determine what type of work can you go back and do. And if you have the evidence of a vocational expert that supports there are no jobs that you can perform, then of course they have to grant you whatever the benefit is or a higher rating or even TDIU, which is total disability due to individual unemployability. Okay. So I'm hoping that a lot of this drives veterans to get uh, vocational evaluations because now the VA is trending to look at your functional abilities and considering lowering your disability rating so that you can eventually go back to work. All right. Now, some of my veterans that are already P&T, you P&T, you 100%. And to my veterans that have used me to get the individual unemployability, great. Good job. You've won. All right. To the other veterans that are also P&T, 100% already, good job. You've done what you had to do. However, if you go file a brand new rate, a brand new claim for additional benefit, whatever it is, all right, and they determine that they're going to have to go back and open up your disability claims and consider all of your other conditions, it's a very good chance that they may decrease your disability compensation because if your condition is now being controlled by medication or if they feel like you're better, they can also reduce your rating for things like PTSD, any heart conditions, cardiovascular conditions, any musculoskeletal conditions that they feel like is now being treated and are okay now or better. Even though you're 100% P&T, you file a brand new claim and they have to go back and reopen all of your other claims, it's very likely that they can decrease your rating decision. Now, I'm not saying that for you to be afraid or scared or anything like that. Only thing I need you to do is be knowledgeable so that you're covered, okay? So that you're covered. And if your records reflect your condition is still ongoing, your condition is still being treated, and it's just as severe today as it was 2 months ago or 2 years ago, then you're good. But you have to have the knowledge about what is going on within the VA system before you try to apply for something, try to get an increase in your rating, and the result of that being a decrease in your service connected disabilities. So now that the VA is going to look at functional limitations and how those limitations affect work, you need a vocational expert. Because what we do is we look at disabilities and we talk about how those disabilities affect your ability to work. And if there's no jobs you can perform that your disabilities do not impact, then of course the VA has to use that as credible evidence to support your rating to stay the same or be increased. All right. The last thing I want to say is now that the VA is considering reducing of millions of veterans' disability benefits, you really need to consider. And if they say you can't work or you can work, you need to either get a vocational evaluation report or you need to go to voc rehab and apply to go back to school. All right. Now I know this might not be what you're interested in, but if the VA is saying you can work and you've been unemployed, then you may need to go consider voc rehab chapter 31. Chapter 31, you need to apply to chapter 31 so that the VA can pay for you to be trained to go back to work. Regardless of what your age is, regardless of what your age is, what I'm saying is if the VA is saying you can work and you don't have the training or the skills to go back to a suitable job, you need to go to voc rehab, fill out an application, and go back to school. Okay? The VA is going to pay for you to go back to school, as a matter of fact, and they're going to give you a monthly allowance while you go back to school. All right? This is an alternative plan. All right? So I just want to equip you with knowledge, understanding that if you're trying to keep your rating and they're decreasing your rating because they feel like you're employable, you need to consider a vocational evaluation. Call our office, get on our schedule, go to my website, and you can set your own schedule. You can identify your own appointment time so we can talk about what has happened, what has transpired, and what it is you're trying to do. Go to my website, www.vcandvc.com. Go click on schedule a consultation. It'll take you there. You can choose your time, click on that time, and then you will meet with me virtually just like this so we can talk about what it is you're claiming and how you plan to navigate through the VA system. All right. I'm a vocational expert, not a VA expert. I'm sure you'll hear more videos on YouTube about this decision that was made on February the 17th, just 3 days ago. But be equipped, be educated, and be wise concerning your benefits. All right. Call our office 803-563-5087. Or like I said, go to my website, schedule your individual consultation. We need to talk about this. Don't be caught in the blind. All right. God bless you. Take care. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you at a TDIU or VA or Social Security disability compensation sometime soon. God bless you. Take care.